Still on that story, the African Action Congress AAC on Friday in Owerri, the Imo State capital, announced the expulsion of its national chairman Omoyele Sowore from the party. Also sacked from the party were 28 other national officers. Omoyele Sowore was the party's presidential candidate in the 2019 general elections. His expulsion may not be unconnected with the row caused by his call for a revolution protest. The party took the decision at the national convention of the party held at Rockview Hotel in Owerri. He was replaced by Leonard Nzenwa. The motion to expel Sowore, Malcolm Fabiyi and 28 others were moved by Chief Emeka Ezife and seconded by Nasiru Abdul Rahman. The party accused Sowore of anti-party activities and bringing the party into disrepute through his actions. Speaking after he was sworn in, the new chairman accused Sowore of subversive activities by trying to change the government through unconstitutional means. Earlier in our news, a political analyst Michelle Agatise says the party should have waited for Sowore's conviction before suspending him.
If you remember, during the presidential elections, there were issues with personnel being expelled from their parties. I remember then with Obieze Kwesili as well. And what the issue for me is that it appears that these parties that, these headline showman candidates associated themselves with might not have had either one, the structures that they required, or two, they might not have even been in tandem with the vision of these candidates. And it also shows me, therefore, that when we're looking at the next elections, the people that present themselves forward, we also have to look at their parties, such that even if they get into office, they don't go a different direction or a different vision from their headline presidential candidates. I have not reviewed the constitution of the AAC party to see what might be considered to be anti-party activities. I don't know if this is just a subversive tactic. I don't know if this is just, to get the limelight that's presently stayed on this matter. But it's a most unfortunate situation. But especially because as of this moment, Sowore has not been convicted of any crime. He's still under investigations. So I think maybe the appropriate thing to do would have been to wait for any trial. I do not know their intentions. I do not know whether this is actually inconsistent with what their party stands for. But if you look at it, objectively, there is a possibility that they might be opportunistic, and it might just be the case that they disagree with what he has done and they actually feel that this has brought disrepute onto his. The new party chairman spoke about the fact that they were quote-unquote hijacked by Rotimi Amechi during the Rivers State elections, and he spoke about the fact that different people try and, hijack them for their, untoward activities. So we don't even know if this is another hijack that they speak of. Really, this is one of those parties that sprung up, and came really into the mind of the populace during the last election. Before then, we don't know a long line, a long track record, a long vision, a long policy, or a long principle that they stand by for us to be able to really say whether, this is consistent with what they usually do. If it was a PDP kind of situation, at least we've known PDP for a while. If it was the APC, to a large extent, yes, they've been around the block. But really, there's difficulty in being able to say this. And which goes back to the point I said earlier about the fact that, when we're also looking at our political candidates, we need to ensure that also the parties behind them are in accordance with their vision, especially now that we're advocating, for fresh hands, fresh ideas.